Hello everyone, this is Chantel from glutenfreecooking123.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make hummus. You'll be able to find this recipe on my blog as usual, and I will put the link for this recipe in the description box below. Now this recipe, as I talk about it on my blog, it is one of the Maza recipes that we use in, I think that's how you say it, I don't know how to say that word. It's basically an entree to many Lebanese dishes, especially barbecue, bajin, all that stuff. It's served at parties, restaurants, and everyday life. So let's get started. This is a really quick and easy recipe. You can just whip it up very easily. If you have canned hummus, hummus is the name of the dish, or as they say it over here, hummus, and it's also the name of the chickpea in Arabic. That's what hummus means, chickpea. So if you have canned chickpeas, it's really easy to make it, but if you don't, you could pre-soak your chickpeas the night before and cook them the day you want to make this, or even the day before you want to make it, and just leave them in the fridge. Now, right here, I have 3 cups of cooked chickpeas, drained, and I'm going to put them in my food processor. That's going to be super overflowing. And to that, I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of the water that I cooked the chickpeas in. I'm also going to add some powdered garlic because I don't have fresh garlic right now, or minced garlic, so instead I'm going to substitute it with powdered garlic. You could do that also if that's all you have. And if you don't like garlic, you could just skip the garlic. You could put cayenne pepper if you want. You could season it in any ways you want. Another thing you could add to it, maybe some roasted peppers, or you can be creative with it. I saw something that Cedar's company came out with, which was chocolate hummus. Now I find that weird. But I'm going to try to replicate that one day, and I believe you probably wouldn't add the garlic and the lemon juice to that. It's not going to be savory. It's going to be more like a pudding sort of, so you put sugar probably in there instead. So I'm going to try that one day and then I'll share it with you. But right now we're making the traditional Lebanese hummus recipe, and to that I'm going to add a teaspoon of minced garlic, and if I need more I can add more later. Sorry, not minced, powdered garlic. If you're using minced garlic, you can add a tablespoon of minced garlic, or as much or as little as you like. And to that I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt and 3/4 teaspoon. I have here 1/2 cup of lemon juice. I'm going to add it in. And a 1/4 cup of olive oil. I like to use extra virgin olive oil. I find it gives more flavor to the dish, especially when you are using it fresh, when it's not cooked. Now I'm going to pulse this, and then I'll add the tahini later. You could add it right now, but my food processor is super small, so I'm just going to pulse this right now and add the tahini in later. Okay, I think that's creamy enough. Now I want to say that traditionally they don't add olive oil in with the mixture, but I like to add that in. I find that it gives it a much better flavor, more depth, if you want to say, to the dish, and I prefer that. You do drizzle olive oil at the end, but I just prefer it with olive oil in it, and then at the end also. If you want to have it less fatty, then you could skip the olive oil, but I do recommend adding in the olive oil. I find that it just brings in a lot of flavor into the dish. So I'm going to transfer this into a bowl and mix in my tahini with it, because I like I said, my food processor is just super small and I'm not going to be able to add everything in here. It's going to overflow. And the tahini doesn't just add in the thickness, it also adds in the flavor that the hummus desperately needs. Cooking the chickpeas didn't really take that long after pre-soaking them overnight, and I also add baking soda to them. What that does, it helps to break down the pectin that's in the beans, and it helps them to cook a lot faster. So it took probably like 20 minutes and they were super soft. And I do cook them twice. The first time I just cook them until they reach the boiling point, then I dump the water. This releases all the gases and all that stuff. And then I rinse them, I fill up the pot with water again, and I boil them. And like I said, I just boiled them for about 20 minutes and that was enough. I just want to show you how creamy and smooth this is. Look at this. So that's what you want. You want a creamy and smooth hummus. So to that I'm going to add half a cup of tahini. Now before you add in your tahini, make sure that to mix it in, there's usually a little bit of oil on top, so you want to mix all that in together before you use it. Sometimes if the jar is big enough, what I do is I just stick my immersion blender in there and I mix it all in, because there's usually also a hard bottom, a hard layer at the bottom. Okay, so I want to show you what happens here. If you don't drain your chickpeas very well, I don't think I drained mine very well, and the hummus is just still runny. So what I'm going to do to fix that problem is I'm going to add some more tahini in, and then I'll taste it and see if I need to adjust the flavor. Okay, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon at a time. This way I'm less likely to make a mistake and thinking it too much. Add another tablespoon. Okay, it's almost there. Add a little bit more. And it is warm, so it's going to be more runny than if the chickpeas were cold. And I am going to adjust the taste. It's going to need a little bit more salt and lemon juice. And I'm going to start with half a teaspoon salt, and then I'll add more if I need more. And I'm going to add about a couple tablespoons of lemon juice. I'm not using fresh. That did soften it. Soften it a little bit, but that's okay. When you make your own chickpeas, make sure to drain them really well. And then maybe what you want to do also is, you don't have to add the whole 1/4 cup all at once, because the liquid sometimes the chickpeas sometimes hold on to the liquid. So you could add in a little bit of liquid at a time of the, of the chickpea liquid. And if you want to firm it up, also if you feel like it's still a little bit runny, you can just put it in the fridge. And it does taste better when it's cold. I prefer it cold. Time to give it another taste test. I think I'm going to add a little bit more lemon juice and a little more salt. Add another half a teaspoon of salt. And a couple more tablespoons of lemon juice. So next time, just don't do my mistake. Drain your chickpeas really well in a sieve and then process them and add the ingredients. I think I do want to add a little more garlic in there, because I like the garlic taste. So I'm going to add another teaspoon. And I'm pretty sure as it sits in the fridge that it's going to, one, harden up, And another thing, the garlic flavor is going to infuse a lot more into the dish because it's not fresh, you know. If you want that pungent garlic taste, definitely use fresh garlic, but we're in a pandemic and all I have is just granulated garlic right now. So that's what I'm cooking with. And you know what? Mistakes seem to want to happen always when I'm filming, so there you go. Here's a mistake for you. So now to serve it, I'm going to put it in this pretty dish right here. And it's so runny right now, but I'm sure it will harden up when I put it in the fridge. I'm gonna stop adding stuff. It tastes good anyways. And to garnish it, I'm going to add a little bit of the cooked chickpeas on top. I actually like the taste of the cooked chickpeas with it like this. And I'm going to put some olive oil. Now if I had some fresh parsley or fresh radishes, I would have also added some of those on top just to make it look pretty. What my mom used to do is peel a tomato and make it into a flower and put it over here. I also don't have that right now, so we're just settling with this. And I'm going to put some olive oil on top. And there you go. There's your hummus. Looking pretty and delicious. You could serve this with barbecues, with doughy stuff, like I said, like sambusik and lahm bajin and all sorts of stuff. You could also have it as an entree for a lot of dishes. You could also serve it in a wrap with some vegetables and maybe some ham and roast beef or something like that, you know, and that would taste really good. Just be creative with it. It's a somewhat healthy dish. It's delicious and it's full of protein as well. Not as much probably as other types of beans and meat, but it's still good and it's delicious. That's what matters, right? So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and I hope you learned something new, learned from my mistakes, my oopsies. And if you like this video, hit the like button and share it with your friends and family. And if you are new to this channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you can receive notifications of whenever I upload new videos. Thank you guys so much for watching and I'll see you again in the next episode.